comes to conventional pick bans?
Well, I think we certainly will. Griffin up against Jinair. Jumping on to pick ban here. Griffin starting on the blue side. Let's see what we will have here for our second matchup of the night. No Zyra Khan. They were watching the first series.
Responding Cassiopeia ban. Griffin played 2 games of bot lane Cassiopeia in the Casper Cup final, so a multi-threat champion, and for Griffin they're just going to deal with some pretty conventional hard engage so far. Rakan gone, Galio gone. What do you ban against Griffin is a fair question, because I asked that question a couple of days ago and said, does the list include Xin Zhao? And that Tarzan still hasn't died so far in LCK Spring 2019.
It's hard. You know, he has 2 MVPs already on the Xin Zhao, but it doesn't feel like a champion that you can first round ban. There are a lot of other super strong stuff, and it's a very common first, 3 picks right now in the meta. We see it all the time. Aatrox and Lucian are very standard. Now Griffin will have their pick at the Urgot if they'd like.
Urgot Sion, 2 big picks for a lot of teams in the early rotations here. Lissandra also open. We'll see what Griffin are feeling. The Urgot would be the most likely choice. Saw Sword was watching on with Nogari pulling off some heroics on Vladimir, so you always wonder who the first team to try to also play the Vladimir will be. Irelia has gone through the ban phase, and haven't seen too many pop-off Irelias since Chovy's in the Casper Cup final. See if Jinair will be contesting it. Right now, hovering it on the red side.
You mentioned those pop-off performances. That's part of the reason why Irelia does have that priority. It was banned first by both Down1 Gaming and Griffin on the blue side for the previous series. So you can tell that these big teams know the power and strength of Irelia.
Is a pick that everyone is ready for. And speaking of picks everyone is ready for, this would be a very early priority Ezreal. The first round on red side, maybe trying to find some comfort for Root in the bot lane. I imagine Jinair, if they play how I would, after losing, in pretty straightforward fashion to SKT, I left that being like, okay, Malrang actually played really well in this series. Got that big Xin Zhao gank off to get that first blood very early onto Khan. Are they going to 5th pick on the red side? The Xin Zhao is a fair question to ask, Valdez. Are we going to see an attempted counter pick from Malrang? As for Griffin, the Vladimir is an old favorite of this lineup. Will they be locking in first round? The answer is yes.
It's literally the series after the big Vlad game. It's the game after the big Vlad game. That Vlad gets second picked now by Griffin. These players aren't wasting any time. Sword was practicing in the practice tool with the Vlad too. He wants that pick, and no doubt we'll see that there.
Viper is also a legendary Vladimir player. Sure. I believe now 9-1 in his career, and we have no idea where any of these picks are going at this point, but the Scion would suggest bot lane Vladimir, you would think.
Yeah.
Before his time, one of the problems of Griffin pre-LCK was the fact that they would play super selfish scaling in the early game, and Rather was their Vladimir player. Rather no longer there, so we are thinking it will be Viper. A lock-in on the Victor, and man, aren't champ selects interesting in 2019.
There's a lot of flexing in one way, and in some other ways, but a lot of Victor nowadays, and Griffin very much making their own tier list with the tanks and the new big guy on the block, the Vladimir. But can Viper pilot it to the same level of Nuguri? Seems that way based on what we have seen before.
Definitely doesn't want to give up a level 1 kill like he did against Deft and Tucson. Really nice all-in that game as the Gragas-Kai'Sa duo. So if it is bot lane, I imagine he's going to be a little bit more with his wherewithal. Waiting for the bans to come in. Second round, no jungler's taken. I do believe Malrang will last pick jungle here, so I imagine a Xin Zhao ban needs to come because one of the safer blind jungle picks for Griffin.
Certainly does feel that way. And will they go for that ban here? Is the question. Kha'Zix already, Sejuani as well. Lots of jungle targeting here as it's only jungles and supports left available. Nocturne also finding success in the last series is going to be taken off the board.
Now, Rout could also snap up Xin Zhao and feel pretty good about most matchups if they won. So we're waiting to see if Xin Zhao will be contested between these two teams. Slight correction, 8-1 on the Vladimir. So with 9-1 would require a victory here. Viper's going to be the one that picks it up. Final ban from Griffin. Again, Xin Zhao kind of really being the jungler we're looking for. They'll actually just flip it up and ban away Braum. Kind of an intriguing spot because you don't look at Griffin's comp and feel like Braum necessarily hard counters anything they've locked in so far. The champion that Braum hard counters that people are talking about is Support Ornn. And I wonder if Lehens will be playing some off-meta stuff as there is the Xin Zhao locked in by Rao.
Yeah, felt pretty obvious there from Arong, especially with all the jungle attention. But will it be the Support Ornn? They already have two thick buddies in the top side in Sion and Urgot. Most of the time they're enemies as teams trade them off one-on-one, but now they're on the same team. Will they have their buddy Ornn? It looks like Papa's the prophet tonight.
Oh boy.
As Ornn comes in.
It's going to be a Support Ornn on the side of Griffin. This is being played by a lot of people in solo queue. We talked about the Lissandra, we didn't see it. We are going to get Support Ornn in this game. Very fun stuff from Griffin, showing new stuff. What will they put together with this crazy Wombo team fight? You want a Galio here, but it's banned away. What's another AoE champion? How about for the jungle? All right. All right, yeah.
Yeah, of course. That's exactly what we want. Okay, Evelyn here. So Tarzan in the Kespa Cup, he casually plays Talia, and then Sejuani brings it back, says, no, they're just good picks. Is this going to be another one?
I actually like the
Taric. Taric sounds really good.
Well, because Griffin is playing that we are going to be all over you in melee range. Victor is already depressed about this game. Remember the Kalista last series? Victor's going to have similar problems in this game. Oh boy, okay, Griffin are going for Wombo, Wombo, Wombo. But the only person who errs from that a little bit is the Evelyn, always known for her pick potential. A lot of pick CC in lanes, but how will Tarzan play on the Evelyn? Because I don't think we saw an Evelyn victory last year. We saw some picks, but I don't know if there were any victories. I believe Spirit and Trick both lost on Evelyn in 2018.
I believe you are correct. And what was that about the Resident Sleeper LCK meta? I don't remember that. I'm certainly liking all the tanks in this situation, in this kind of composition with an Evelyn and a Vladimir here.
Hope you got all your Evelyn skill names ready for play-by-play.
Well, I have an iPad with me, so we'll have that.
Can you name one Evelyn skill?
Hand.
I probably wouldn't have been able to. She doesn't have Hate Spike anymore. I remember that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, she does have still Hate Spike. They didn't change the name.
She has the swipey ultimate thing.
Yep.
That's the one. Yeah, I know that's the name.
Can you shout that really quickly?
We'll see if I can do it mid-game. As, other side seems kind of, well, I was going to say standard, but actually Victor's here in the mid lane, and Aurelia is top with a Taric, who is also not very often seen. As,
the smile in the mid lane there is...
Tungo is not playing today.
No, he's not. But he's smiling because he gets a bit of a time off.
Well, okay. We are here, and you are seeing the champions correct. This is the name of the game. Chovy, I would expect him to go AD Sion. That's his thing in the mid lane. So if you were wondering, hey, this looks like a heavy amount of magic damage, you know, what are they going to do? Well, AD Sion can rack that up. Obviously, Urgot has his own share.
Someone out there wants to do some research work while we cast this.
Does this work? What? Oh, he's so screwed. Oh, man. See you later, Ezreal. When you didn't think it could get any better, Chovy says, hey, I got a secret new trick for you. As Ezreal loves to just camp there and poke for Klepto procs. Well, not anymore. As Sion says, see you later.
Gotta love it when a plan comes together. They knew that Root would step out of the brush the moment that Vladimir walked up because, of course, he wants to get some gold for his Kleptomancy, but it's all a clever ruse. And now, already first blood to the Vladimir. The 9-1 that we mistakenly said is now on the menu.
I just feel like I'm living in an alternate reality right now as Griffin is trying to bend the reality of League of Legends. I love that play because, you know, it's something you wouldn't think about, but they just wrap around out of vision. Obviously practice, something you can do with the Sion in the bottom lane.
Is this a pool party chroma where you can have the pink fuzzy Taric but also be pool party? Yeah. This is pretty
is.
sick. Now I don't need to use the pink Taric anymore. All right. Armor of the 5th Age can finally step away.
Yeah.
Well, Marang already showed us that he had some great pathing on the Hail of Blades Xin Zhao, and you know what? If he finds the Evelynn early, he's going to kill the KDA Evelynn. So for now, at least, Marang's going to feel pretty good about his agency. How many of these Scuttle Crabs is he going to get? Because it could be a double.
Yeah, very passive here from Tarzan. Just farms out the bottom side of his jungle. He's going to be pretty happy to do that and stay on his side of the map. Won't venture out there. Lots of pings onto Linderong, who gets some extra vision here. Onto the roots of Tarzan. See where he goes from there.
So the meta hasn't changed when it comes to Evelynn jungle. If you're the enemy team, ward her camps is obviously a lot easier when she's visible. When it comes to tracking her progress, but post level 6 going to be the only way to actually find her through the jungle. Support Orin that I forecasted after the Braum ban is just the latest place people have found Orin. The Orin trades when you have no shield on the W just feels so bad that he loses kind of every top lane matchup that he used to have back in the day. But from the bot lane, it's the best scaling support champion, which is a weird thing to say.
Oh,
Kellen.
Look at the damage, that empowered Q as Kellen just hands one on over.
And you know what? Maybe it's pretty good in the early game too. No scaling required after that boop from the passive is popped there after the W. But the scaling is what it's for, Valdez. From level 13 onwards, you're giving yourself first thousands of gold worth of efficiency and the rest of your team. So those Orin changes, if this game goes long enough, could be so big. And it just means that the gold advantage is way bigger than perhaps the gold numbers can show if everyone hits level 18.
Gotta love it. I wonder how much practice Kellen has had on this. I mean, you get the stun, right? But
Kellen misplays it
there.
He doesn't, exactly, that's the thing. He misplays. He thinks he's getting a lane trade against a melee opponent, but the unstoppable isn't going to give a mundo about his stun. And because of that interaction, auto comes in. The early damage was buffed a little bit and gets even bigger as time goes on after the Bellows Breath. So that is an indication of the lack of veteran nature of playing against the Ornn. It is being played by a lot of people in Korea, but days of practice rather than weeks. And, you know, not the best look for Jinez duo lane.
Yeah, we talk about base stats and what you can do without items. Ornn's brittle mechanic, certainly a fun one there. Uh-oh, Tarzan. Okay, well, good read, as somehow he knew that was happening. Still face checks it and is forced to flash, as Kellen and Malrang not messing around this time.
He knows he has backup coming, so he's trying to play with his food.
Okay,
Predator!
Kellen is level 2, and, well, see you later, buddy. You were way too deep in there, as the rest of your team just lets you go. And poor Taric, already a couple of deaths here in this one.
Feeling a bit like a remade scrim for a couple of different reasons, both the champions locked in and how the early game has gone. The Predator there makes that such a calculated play. That's why he walked up, Valdez. He knew that if he didn't have to instantly defensively flash, Predator Vlad was going to get there and get kills regardless. Able to pick those up. In the top side, Linderong laning really nicely against Sword. It's an irritating matchup for the Urgot early. Viper backs away. He's already really quick. And Root just wants to farm some Q.
We'll take another look, as there is no vision of this, but back pings on the side of Griffin, so he knows to check as Victor was edging towards this side.
The moment that he checks, notice that Ornn and Vlad already come up. That's before he's had to defensively flash. Lehens rolls in. Kellen, amusingly, is level 2. And Tarzan says, I want to win another KDA and another MVP along the way, and uses the Chilling Smite to pick up the kill.
You got to pick up your kills where you can. Should be a lot of them in this one if it continues along this path. But
he is currently 13-0-14 in LCK Spring 2019 is Tarzan. How about one more kill and then just leaving it there?
For Griffin so far, honestly, they've had a very easy schedule. So it's, you know, they're a great team, but it's not super hard to look fantastic up against Kingzone and Jin Air. It's weird to say that about Kingzone now, but with the new lineup, it's you know, times of change have come to the LCK for sure.
If you made a 2-year habit of circling fixtures on the calendar, maybe uncheck the KT versus Kingzone match that last year would have been a banger and this year might be a little bit sad.
Yeah. We'll see how that one goes. Orange support here. Very good at trading with melees. I'm going to hold that thought as Tarzan, he wants a kill. Well, you're going to be charmed, and the sweep, the ultimate thing, doesn't get the kill as Malrang gets away with this flash.
You don't often expect Evelyn behind you in your jungle at 7 minutes, but that's how this game is shaping up. Would have overkilled him there, about 40 damage short of picking up the kill. Viper's probably very close to level 6 at this point, so looking to see if he's going to flip over. Tarzan now going for the invade. All right. You can tell how an early game goes if you just explain that Evelyn is invading and stealing the Xin Zhao's red buff.
It's a good one for Griffin, that's for sure. The Scion shows himself on the ward, but Tarzan was able to skirt by that one. And just comes from getting on top of Malrang before he's level 6, has to force his flash, has to back. And all of a sudden, Tarzan is in the lead in that sense in the jungle. I looked up the ability names on the Evelyn, by the way.
Nice.
Last Caress.
That's a good name.
I wanted to give it one shot with the sweepy ultimate thing, so gave it a shot there. Also, Hate Spike is still
I know.
Q.
That's a good thing. The only one that I remembered and was unsure of, as you note. You guys are unsure of how the last Caress works because you just felt Evelyn against you rather than played it or seen many pro games of it. By that I mean you're a squishy and Evelyn overkills you in solo queue.
You definitely feel it in those games.
125 base damage at level 1, but doubles if you're below 30% health. So it actually does quite a lot of extra damage, has good AP scaling, so it's up to a 1.5 AP ratio if you're getting the doubled. So lets you know that even though it's not the squishiest lineup, it is actually earning more on the squishy by LCK 2019 spring standards on the side of Jin S. Already, your mainlining AD items as the likes of Xin Zhao, Irelia, and Ezreal are, you really have to be very concerned if the Evelyn finds a flank.
You do. We've seen some Evelyn games go awry, as you were saying, but I feel like Tarzan is going to show us the way. Already having a little help from his team, which is definitely something you need in Evelyn versus Xin Zhao early, but once you get a bit of a lead and you hit level 6, you get that stealth, you go around the map so fast that you begin to have a lot of opportunities for some strong ganks with all that AP. So we'll see what he can do as the game moves along here. Finishes up his Runic Echoes. Feeling pretty good about himself right now.
You know who feels bad? It's Malrang, because consider the lanes he has to gank. Bot lane's already kind of gone away as an option after all the deaths. The other two lanes to gank are a Scion and an Urgot for how exactly does even Hail of Blades Red Smite Xin Zhao kill you? And he's getting invaded by Evelyn of all people. So this is definitely a game where around Malrang things have gone quite poorly.
It's definitely a feels bad game so far. We'll see how Toby's build also moves along here. As we're talking about lanes to gank, Tarzan's looking bot as Malrang is looking top.
Here it comes.
Call of the Forge God. Kellen does have flash, but he uses it prior to the Call of the Forge God hitting him, and he just dies. And so, was too scared of the brittle, and still dies anyway.
Very, very few ways to escape there, but you probably could have drawn at least a summoner spell. Top side, they're trying the dive.
Disdain trying to buffer that one, but he's going for the kill onto Linderong, but he doesn't get it. Really close, trying to do the 1v2, but couldn't quite get on it. And now Tarzan, he's looking for more. There's the Chilling Smite root. The flash on in, and immediately Tarzan predicting it. Follows up with his own flash and says, Evelyn is here to stay.
I was under the impression you needed the Allure to hit the W. You don't, apparently. You don't need that ability. They're able to pick up the kill anyway. Tarzan doing immense damage, and Malrang, he'll take a Rift Herald. Linderong gets some lane control. If you're wondering about the interaction, that's why QSS works against the Urgot ult. You have to actually be nuzzled next to that big model on the Urgot to actually be decimated by the fear from beyond death. So he is going to live in that scenario. Kellen, he had about a chance to draw an extra flash, but he doesn't get it and goes down quite easily.
Not much you can do there. Easy execution from the side of Griffin. Then we see here, once again, the gank onto Sword.
Tricky gank to pull off, as we noted. It was about half a second away from looking silly, but follows through here. Does not reach the Urgot, so no fear beyond death arming. This is the part where I'm already worried, though. Level 8, no W, so no telltale sign that burst damage is coming in.
So clean. Love the follow-up flash.
I really wonder who the last person to win with Evelynn was. I don't know if there's been a competitive Evelynn win in Korea since I got here in 2015 summer. It could have been someone like Bengi, who used to play it quite a lot on SK Telecom T1 in 2013, 2014. So could be overlooking someone. We had a Lulu jungle victory from Spirit, but don't know about the Evelynn. That one has been unsighted outside of Clear Love, dusting it off once in a while.
Well, this game seems to be kind of following the plan that we assumed would happen here. It's kind of all the Griffin show as Jin Air is just desperately trying to hold on. Although I suppose that the top lane gank is good news for the side of Griffin. You get your Irelia online, about 30 CS ahead, and also your Xin Zhao that was struggling in the jungle from the early plays also picks up a kill.
There are definitely windows with Trinity Force complete that good things can happen top side, and the Irelia can be dunked on before a couple of health items. Bot side, that one is being abandoned. Malrang shows top side. Let's see if Griffin will get any more or just trade, because they certainly look to be getting all the turret plates bot side.
Just pushing on in there. The Rift Herald comes in with the TP to make sure that the turret does stay alive. And that means that the bottom side will be the first turret to go down. Of course, all that gold going to be split here between Viper and Lens. And another Vladimir as well. That is 3-0-1. We already saw what happens in games where Vladimirs go 3-0-1.
Want to draw your attention to the fact that there's a small victory for Jin Air here. They forced the Scion to build defensively. There is no Sterix gauge on Chovy. He is going full tank Scion, which for him, he probably feels frustrated about.
Yes. He would love to be doing the fat damage, but it's going to have to wait.
Seems like Sterix probably be second. I think the Titanic Hydra might take a hike for this particular game, number one.
No need to build boots, I suppose.
Predator Vladimir was always Viper's choice. This is what he preferred to do. You're much less likely to be there for a teleport flank, even if you are still the same champion with the same summoner spell. So wants the reliability of closing the gap. Tarzan, 5 points into Hate Spike, 3 points into the E, leaving Allure at 1 point. In case you guys are wondering about skill order, I saw him playing a lot of off-meta stuff on his solo queue account, so I knew to expect this. He's played Shaco, he's played a lot of Rumble Jungle, which I think situationally can be very good. Karthus, he's thrown that in. We saw that from Spirit yesterday. The Evelynn was there, but I wasn't expecting it.
It's just not a pick that we've seen have any success, but I suppose if you're going to pull it out in a professional game and try to test it out, this would be the one to do it.
Map control already pretty overwhelming for the side of Griffin. Control ward line all the way down the river. Defend what you can if you are the side of Jin Air. QE was made more reliable. Little change that was made is, yep, cool.
Well, there's the ultimate, and Tarix is going to be way late. TP comes in. It's actually Grace, not Linderong.
We're trying a new thing with Vladimir. It's presented without comment.
You know, I kind of like that for this game.
He actually predatored straight turret dive, killed him.
I mean, what is he going to do? Like, where was Kellen? Was he farming the Krugs? Not 100% sure. Didn't see him on the map. Was probably just getting some defensive vision down, but you would think that your AD carry would be safe under turret. Well, he's not, because you're up against Vlad with 1 billion kills and an Ornn, who surprisingly is really good at, you know, getting you under turret.
Let's watch the replay of this intricate play by Vladimir.
They sped it up too. They're like, oh, we've all seen this before.
Why did Kellen flash? I guess it looks better when people ask what happened.
I wasn't going to answer that question. Tarzan is 1v1ing, and Irelia, see you later, dodges the ultimate. Tarzan making it look so easy.
Seems like the party trick's coming out early in this first game. Sadly, it's going the way that we might have anticipated. The weather forecast isn't always right, but this time it is. Chovy pushes up. Map control is now extending past the river, and already the gold lead is 6,000.
Unfortunately, this weather report was correct. All planes are grounded for now. Not allowed even in the sky. Can't even really be a sad plane in this kind of game, as Griffin as you said before, it kind of just feels like a scrim gone wrong, where Jin Air's like, okay, go next. Like, this isn't the way it was supposed to go. We messed up. But this is where we're at now in this game.
Well, let's enjoy it, Valdez. We're here having a good time with everyone. Not a long time, clearly. Chovy pushes up. He's a tank, so he's not feeling so good about that. Secret Agent Chovy, 002.
You know, he's doing his job. He's
I feel like
letting Tarzan have the blue. That's his job.
I feel like there was a sit-down with Lehens and CV Max, and Lehens came away with it understanding that if he has a redemption, he's technically a support.
I mean, there are a lot of things you can play in that support role. I was fooling around with Ignite, Exhaust, Karthus.
On my recommendation.
Kind of suicide level. It was, you know, mixed results against an 80 carry with no mobility. You're not so bad. You just sit there and you throw out a bunch of Skittles.
I think enough solo queue destroying has been done by LCK Spring that perhaps your Exhaust, Ignite, Karthus recommendation might be
well, you definitely don't go Redemption with that build. That's for sure. How about Grace? How about another guy underneath the turret? Doesn't look like he's going to die on the back of this one, but still getting his fun in there. And there's the allure into the charm. Misses the last caress, but it doesn't matter, as Sword is the one who's going to pick up the kill this time. Tarzan forced to share with his teammates.
Evelyn is standing between bot lane waves to gank the Irelia. Again, statements I did not expect to be saying today. They're coming in the mid lane. They've used their AoE ults. They probably can't get kills here, but with Griffin, you're never sure.
You mentioned it before, Malrong kind of feels like the saddest member of Jin Air so far.
He's played pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of doing his job, right? But not much you can do when you get a kill early, you feed your top lane, and then the rest of the map is like, well, let's feed a bunch of kills. Definitely that solo queue feel coming in for Malrong.
Big problem here is that Jin Air has, again, strong laners, right? Victor can wave clear. Irelia is known for her laning potency. But Irelia top needs to overextend to lane, and overextending right now is leaving your inner turret at 18 minutes. There's just no way to control anywhere on the map. Usually the threat of Hail of Blades Xin Zhao is kind of an AoE control ward of its own, but they have a lot of lane wards. They have no worries about the Xin Zhao taking over any trades, and they don't have a squishy. The closest to a squishy is Evelyn. She's very hard to pin down, both in the former of where the hell is she now, and after the fact, her last caress being a fixed distance escape in the worst case scenario. The hat has come early. Apparently there's a sale on at Lowell Park we weren't aware of, but nice hats for Vladimir's. If you're a Hemomancer, get right down to the Grand Soul 3rd floor because you get a free hat pre-20 minutes.
You got it right before 1945. Feels like 1945 with all the killing that's going on in this game as, well, Lehens, he's getting bloodthirsty, picks up the kill as nobody is safe under a turret.
I don't really have too much to say about this game. I feel like everyone is experienced. It's washing over us, you know? It feels like we're watching the nature documentary, and Griffin are the lions. And sadly for Jin Air, they are much further down the food chain in this particular one.
I mean, that's essentially what we're seeing here. Said it before, I feel like there's certain tiers in the LCK, and Griffin, SKT, and maybe Dom1 are up in the top one. And then there are a couple of tiers in the middle there, and then Jin Air kind of fall down towards the 4th one. So definitely expected it to be one-sided, but this feels like a whole nother level of, as we even had in the key point, Griffin on another level. So we'll see which team will be the first one to step up to Griffin. Will it be SKT? Will there be one? Linderong's dead again, as not much commentary required on that one.
It's all happening on the screen, Valdez. Jin Air now, they know that there's just nothing they can do. They control nothing, not any of the jungle camps, not even minion waves. If Griffin get really surly about them, they should probably sidestep as well. Root moves back, and what do you even do as the coaching staff but bring in other players, you know? Some substitutes are probably needed for game number 2. I think Stitch's debut, it's been delayed 3 games. Root, you know, the level 1 was definitely a bit of a fail-fish mistake, but from there, the rest of the stuff was more unavoidable as this is what a 1v1 looks like. That was just rude by Sword. That's just KDA stealing.
Hey, I mean, at least Tarzan gets an assist, right? So it still adds up. It's definitely the solo queue Evelyn feels. I know everybody's gone up against that Evelyn that builds Magi's and has 25 stacks at, 20 minutes.
Hey, we can criticize the Evelyn. The Dark Seal was too late.
Yeah, I mean, he got it after building his entire jungle item. Rookie mistake there from Tarzan. Needs more practice in his solo queue Evelyn.
I wish Griffin would play Heimerdinger, so we'd finally have a Heimerdinger victory in the history of the LCK.
Yeah.
We've never had one.
Maybe we can suggest it. I feel like they'd be down. I think they'd be very down.
Well, maybe Jin versus Griffin round 2. Here's an Ornn ultimate.
Well, that one's going to miss. I'll rate that one 3.5 out of 10 for Lehens. He hit the first part.
Viper pushes up. We wonder in the next game what new champions we'll see.
I mean, that part's fun, at least, right? Could see some new stuff.
Griffin is so... Well, okay, here's the brush cam. Maybe something can happen. I'm down for something happening.
I'm just glad that Generic got one kill. It's not going to be the perfect game against Evelyn, Ornn support, Vlad bot, for the ultimate destruction.
For the ultimate destruction, look at Vladimir's items for 23 minutes.
Surprised he went for the Zhonya's. I suppose he just doesn't want to die in this game. That's what I do when it's like a super stomp and I want to get my perfect KDA. I'm just like, okay, it's time for a defensive item finally. I already do enough damage.
Here's what I'll say. It's a defensive item on paper, right? But we've already seen him ghost under turret, full tanking it with no minion wave. It's not a defensive item, Valdez. He just wants to go further.
He wants to dive more frequently.
He wants to get in the fountain. That's a fountain item choice for him this time.
I think the fountain actually kills you through stasis.
I believe it's after the stasis. You can actually stasis in it.
I think I've tried to do
you
that
die through
and
GA.
die,
You
and
definitely die through GA.
I was that Pikachu, the shocked Pikachu when I...
Was it a high-res one or a low-res one?
It was a high-res one. I was very, very shocked. They get someone here, and Balrog goes in the bouncy castle. He's having a bit of fun. Tarzan finds another deer in the headlights, essentially, as the Predator stalks her prey.
Yep, it's a team of Predators here. This lion is in a 5-pack, apparently. 5-pack Griffin skins, anyone? Hopefully those are coming in the future. The Baron is in the present. Jin can't go anywhere near the Baron. If there was unexplored map on the League of Legends map, that would represent Baron as it dies instantly.
He's just trolling them. He's the bodyguard. Support Ornn. And hey guys, he's almost level 13, right? Is it 13 or 14?
13 for yourself. 14 onwards for the team.
He's getting close. We're getting that scaling support here.
He overkilled him by about 400 damage. The ult did 750.
Yeah.
Look at Ornn's items. He has a Warmox.
Oh, man. I feel like he should have just gone for Dark Seal himself.
Wait, Ornn has more Ornn has 1,000 more gold than anyone on Jinner's team. He's the support.
Yeah, I mean,
1,000 more than their highest gold member at 25 minutes.
It makes sense. That's the thing. Why didn't Tarzan get Magi's? What is he doing?
Wrong stuff.
What did he build? I guess the Morellos or Morellonomicon? Thinking about old items here. He has Lichbane. Chovy, as you mentioned before, just having the most boring game of his life.
But he got a Titanic Hydra. So that part's fun at least.
He has some AD.
He can cancel orders now.
That's a fun mechanic. Makes you feel good.
The Taric dropped here is actually super good against Griffin's comp from ahead. The problem is Taric from behind never knows when to ult, as we saw with the turret dive earlier.
Problem is when you die twice at level 2, you just don't exist.
Really? That was the problem? Good news, Lehens is level 13. He can upgrade some items. He might already have.
Nice.
Can you upgrade Warmox? I don't know about that one.
I don't think so.
I'm not sure he has an
it's
item
like
he can
Sunfire
upgrade.
Cape and What's the other one?
Many other things. Here we go.
Okay, will the Tarek ultimate arm? Yes, it does, but Griffin, they just don't care. As Linderong, well, let's take a look at the Viper show in the backside. Will the Zhonya's come in? Yes, it does. Question is, will he die? No. Chaos Storm runs out, and Tovi is taking the turret. Nobody on Griffin wants to die, and I think they're going to meet that match as well. Oh, the Tarm, he's going to go down through the fountain. See you later as Griffin make it look so easy. Get every inhibitor, every kill, as they're just showing off at this point, looking for more kills. Not quite going to happen, as even emoting in front of the fountain here is Griffin. GG, game one felt like not